Hello and welcome to the Pharmacy Informatics Professor 2020 with your host, Dr. Armin Simonian. Pharmacy practice in the metaverse. Can you imagine it? I can. And I'm going to tell you why I can imagine pharmacy practice in the metaverse. But before I do, let's just take a brief look at history, the history of the internet, and see where it's been and where it's going and how pharmacy practice might fit in with the future of the internet. So the original internet was developed about 40 years ago. They started developing the internet, and it was really meant for educational institutions to start having professors, researchers collaborate with each other, share resources, share library resources, and be able to just share their progress with their research. Of course, it evolved, and eventually businesses realized that it would be important to have a presence on the internet. And so we saw a lot of websites opening up for all types of businesses. And in terms of socialization, originally we had email, and that was kind of the main communication device. And then we started getting into social media. And so it became a little bit more two-dimensional, where we had pictures and videos. Once we got to Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and even LinkedIn and some other applications that are out there, we saw more sharing of information on what we're doing professionally and personally in our lives. And the next step, which now they're calling Internet 3, is kind of a 3D version of the internet. And this is where we actually get into virtual reality and people actually meeting and talking and interacting on the internet, either as avatars or in other types of virtual reality settings. So this is where we're going with the internet. Now, in terms of pharmacy practice, senior citizens, even though they're able to get their prescriptions through mail order, through Amazon, or other means, they still like going to the pharmacy. And why is that? It's because sometimes those older individuals, their only socialization is talking to the pharmacist or the technician or the cashier at the pharmacy. And so this is something that they prefer in terms of social interaction. Now we know that the newer generations really are interacting more and more via social media. And now with the metaverse, this Internet 3 or 3D version of the internet, we're finding that people are interacting real time, not through just FaceTime or through a Zoom session, but interacting as avatars within a new world. Now, if you want to get a glimpse of what this kind of looks like, then watch the movie Ready Player One. And I think that'll give you kind of a glimpse of what's imagined when the metaverse is in full swing in the future and people are actually living their lives kind of in this virtual reality setting. But getting back to pharmacy practice, and so with pharmacy practice, with the pandemic, we saw the explosion of telepharmacy, telehealth, telemedicine. So going to the doctor or even getting counseling from a pharmacist was done at a drive-through window or over telephone or a Zoom session or another type of video session on the computer. And this has become more and more prevalent. We've even seen new companies that have come on the scene, Teladoc and ZocDoc, where you can make appointments and do virtual visits with doctors and other healthcare professionals in a very quick and efficient manner without having to go to an emergency room or urgent care, without having to make an appointment with your primary care practitioner. And so when I look at pharmacy practice going into the future and I see all these trends of where we're going with social media, I can imagine a world where we have real estate that we've purchased within the metaverse. And this is happening now. People are buying plots of land in Decentraland and other virtual cities. And we have businesses like Gucci and Nike where you can go in. Blockchain technology comes into play here, and NFTs where you can buy a Gucci purse or that pair of unique Nike sneakers and own those and keep them or sell them. It's interesting. There's commerce already going on. So why wouldn't we want to have a pharmacy in the metaverse, a pharmacy where people who are more comfortable with meeting online can actually come to the virtual pharmacy and meet with the virtual pharmacists and actually talk about any problems they're having or get counseling on medications. And in a way, it's really a lot more comfortable for any patient to be able to come to a pharmacy as an avatar versus in real life and talk about maybe some of those sensitive topics that are difficult to talk about at a pharmacy window where you know that, yeah, there's a little bit of privacy, but there are other people hanging around and might be listening to your conversation. And if it's a problem that involves some kind of, sensitive topics, you don't really want to be talking about that in front of other people. And so having a virtual session where it's not your real face or body, and you can, talk about what's going on with your medical condition with a pharmacist and have that privacy and be able to talk more freely without the embarrassment of showing your face. I think that this is something that could really take off in the future. And so this is why I believe that, pharmacy practice can definitely have a place in the metaverse in the future. And we're probably headed there because with this trend of doing telepharmacy, not having patients come in person to the pharmacy, but doing it over telephone video sessions, and now being able to do that in a virtual environment with virtual reality, I think that this is something that can really take off. So I definitely can imagine pharmacy practice in the metaverse in the future. And I think we as pharmacy informaticists should be thinking about this and how we might apply this kind of concept, start working on it in the business world. We've had companies, Facebook and others, Roblox that have taken off now. And these are companies that are focused on now the metaverse. Facebook even changed their company name to Meta. And apparently they've invested up to $500 billion into this project to kind of convert their current social media style and footprint into virtual reality, into the metaverse. You go to Costco now and you see, Oculus virtual reality headsets that are available, and they're being sold by the hundreds and thousands. This is something that's really taking off, and I can see it increasing in the future. So pharmacy informaticists, pharmacists, pharmacy managers out there, start thinking about your pharmacy business or your pharmacy practice at your ambulatory care clinic or even hospital, and how you might have in the future a presence on the metaverse. Pharmacy practice in the metaverse in the future. I think it's coming. Let me know if you agree, and if you found this video interesting, please like it and subscribe to my channel, and I will thank you for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, look after the health of others, and I'll continue to work on more episodes, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.